Okay, well, these little 5 minute segments just fly by for me because there's so much to consider. Now, one thing that we know is that anthropologists will tell you that in any primitive society, primitive tribal, primitive cultures, that the shaman are very important figures. They are the ones that know how to deal with magic. And they know medicines and they can forage for mushrooms or barks that have magical and medicinal qualities. They know about the phases of the moon. They're powerful people. What about the standing of the musician? Who are they? And how does a tribe look at this person? I mean, during this period of time, upper Paleolithic, we've got a lot happening here. We have cave paintings are just starting where they're depicting scenes of the hunt. There's sculpturing. That's the Venus of Willendorf, by the way, correction from an earlier one. She's got an amazing history if you look at her because she pops up all over Europe during this period of time. We're talking basically 30 to 40,000 years ago. And her statuette is found in numerous places. But so are flutes. There's not just one. There's not just two. There are a number of flutes from this era. Now here's a little something to think about. Archaeologists go in and do an excavation of a site that they know that had early humans there, whether they were Neanderthal or making the transition to Cro-Magnon. That's to be determined by carbon dating and the type of seeds that are there, and the debris. And in the midst of this archaeology dig, they find some spearheads, some arrowheads, some remnants of fire, and a flute. Why did that flute survive? Well, it's pure conjecture. It's conjecture on my part, but maybe because it was wrapped. It was considered special, sacred maybe. Maybe it was wrapped in furs or leather, or maybe in special kinds of bark to preserve it, to protect it, and all that stuff eventually rotted away. We're talking 40,000 years ago, 30,000 years ago. So there's nothing left but just the flute. But why did that flute survive when there's nothing else but some stones around and some charcoal and a flute? So one might guess that it was special, that it was maybe even sacred, and it was protected, and that's why it survived. Well, if that's the case, if that flute was that special, how about the person that played it? What do you think that their position in that society was? As a musician, you need to think about that because it's an age-old honored position. Well, we'll catch you in the next one. Think about that, especially you folks that play music.